This time of year is the perfect time to read and learn when your workload is typically a bit lower than usual. So today I'm sharing my top recommendations for holiday reading for entrepreneurs. Welcome to the Affiliate Guy podcast. If you want to grow your income, serve your tribe, and enjoy all the benefits of affiliate marketing and having your own affiliates, you're in the right place. Thanks for joining me today. Let's get started. So as I record this, I'm shutting down for the holidays. I'm recording this on Friday, December 20th, and we actually close down as a company from tomorrow, the Saturday the 21st, until let me think. What's that? Wednesday is the 1st, so like through the 5th of January. So we're closed for it'll be 16 days for our team and for me. It's just every year thing. It's a great recharge. It's a great way to kind of put a bow on the year and start the next year off right. As one of our team members, Robbie, said earlier, it's like pressing a reset button. And one of the ways that we're going to press a reset button is, we're not turning our brains off during this time. We're going to do a lot of reading over the holidays. And one of the ways that we're going to press the reset button is by reading some things while we're away from work, while we're not like in the minutia every day. We're not like go, And so we're going to read and be able to think and be able to do some planning for the coming year. And so on the podcast today, what I wanted to do is share the 5 books that I'm reading this holiday season. There's a couple in particular I'm really excited about. Plus, I'm going to share 6 additional books. These are for all levels of entrepreneurs, whether you're, beginner. I've got some the advanced books are the ones I'm reading. I've got some suggestions for beginners, and I've got some that like everybody should read, right? Like some of these books I've already read. In fact, I'll share that as we go along. Some of these I'm rereading, and some of these have completely transformed my business and my life. So if you haven't read them yet, now is the time. Now is the time to do it. Now, I want to point out real quick, I've got all these books listed at mattmcwilliams.com/holiday books. Easy URL. You can just grab all of them there. mattmcwilliams.com/holiday books. Of course, all those are affiliate links. What would you expect? You're listening to an affiliate podcast, Now, before we get into the books today, I want to give a quick shout out to Nick Loper, who left a rating and review on iTunes. 5 stars. Thank you, Nick. Said affiliate marketing doesn't have the greatest reputation in the world, but many people are doing it the right way, and Matt is one of them. He's been in the industry for years and quarterbacked some major product launches. Definitely someone worth paying attention to if you're trying to grow your business through the affiliate channel or as an affiliate. Thank you so much, Nick. If you are like Nick, you're getting value out of this show, make sure to subscribe. That's the first thing so you don't miss anything. Make sure you subscribe. If you're not subscribed, click on the subscribe button in iTunes or Google, or wherever you're listening. Subscribe and leave a rating and review, hopefully 5 stars, but leave a rating and review because that helps more and more people find us and get this message. Also, I want to let you know about Affiliate Insider Monthly, our new membership program that has just taken off. Oh my goodness, this thing, I got to be honest, we had high hopes, but not this high. And I'll tell you what, the January content is incredible. January content is amazing, but you have to get in before the new year hits. And so we're doing a special here at the end of the year. Every month, if you're not in by the 1st of the month, you don't get that month's content. So like when the ball drops and we're all singing Auld Lang Syne, you miss out on January's content. We got some awesome content in January, but we're doing a special at the end of the year. When you join this month, when you join in December, not only do you get access to January's content, you get access to December's content. We've never done this before. 2 months for the price of 1. I'm going to tell you right now, the Affiliate Trends Monthly, our ATM report coming up in January, it's worth your year's membership. Okay, it'll be worth everything you pay for the whole year and more probably. It is that good. Plus, we've got the Insider Profile, the Backstage Pass. We got the Backstage Pass into one of our most successful affiliate promotions ever, where we had to use a kind of a unique angle. That's all in December, actually. So again, 2 months for the price of 1, but only for a few more days, depending upon when you're listening to this. You have to join by the end of the year. You get access to January's content plus the bonus month. You can get that at mattmcwilliams.com/insider. Go there immediately. Press pause, click the link in the show notes, or go to mattmcwilliams.com/insider and get into Affiliate Insider Monthly. You are absolutely going to love it. So about this entrepreneur's holiday reading list, it's something I've wanted to put together for a while because, again, this is kind of that time of year. This is that time of year. I don't know, what your schedule's like, but most people I talk to, most people, not all, and if that's not you, totally cool. These are great books that I recommend anyway. It's kind of that time of year where you maybe have some extra days off. Things are a little bit slower. Work's not, even if you are going to work. I remember back when I used to, I worked in retail back in this is like 2002. And, still, things slowed down right after Christmas for us. And nobody really ever worked more than like a 4-hour shift and things like that. Crazy leading up to it, but most of the time this tends to be a little bit slower time, and it tends to be a time the kids are out of school. That can be a good thing, that can be a bad thing for your sanity, but it tends to be a time where maybe also it's end of the year, beginning of the year. We tend to pause and reflect, and we can tend to think ahead. And so I wanted to share some books that I think you should read over the holidays. So I'm going to start off with books, some recommended reading for everyone. Then I'm going to cover some recommended reading for beginners. And then I'm going to talk about what I'm reading this holiday break, which is a little bit more advanced. And then I'm going to share a couple of fun books I'm reading. So I'll start off with the recommended reading that everyone should read, whether you're beginner, intermediate, advanced. You've been doing this for a decade. You've been doing this for 10 minutes. The first one, an oldie but a goodie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I first read this book back in the winter of 2002. I was just turned 23, and I read this book, and it just absolutely changed my life. I quote this book more than just about any book I ever quote. I mean, the book was written probably in the 20s, the 19, I don't know, before World War II, that's for sure. I think before the Great Depression. That's how old this book is. And the thing is, affiliate marketing is all about relationships. So if you want more affiliates, you need a powerful network. And this is the go-to book. There has never been a better book, in my opinion, to learn how to build great relations with people that you want to influence. And so I would say that probably 50% of what I have learned over the years about networking, building relationships, connecting with others, getting, affiliate partners has been from this book. 100-year-old book, roughly. And there's still lessons in there. So I read it about every 5 years. I won't be reading it this holiday season. I read it a couple years ago again. And I look at this. It's a book that when I say I read it every 5 years, I don't read it in like a week like I do a normal book. I read it over the course of 6 months, kind of like I do this next book, which is The War of Art. The War of Art is a book. I mean, I've probably read it 15 to 20 times now. And I read this one I used to read it every year. And I would read it over the course of about 3 to 6 months. It's a pretty short book too, but I would read like a chapter and, every couple of days, short chapters, sometimes 1 page, sometimes 3 pages, let that sink in. And then, go a few months and then read it again. And to me, this is like the creative's daily inspiration. This is like, for lack of a better word, it's the creative's Bible. It's all about getting past these creative barriers. And what I would say, it's unlocking the genius that's inside of you. And so my suggestion is, with The War of Art, grab it, read it once or twice through. It'll take you a couple days at the most. And then, like I said, read a chapter every day for a few months until you're done. And then maybe do that again and then kind of find your rhythm with this book. Barry Friedman, who's one of Jeff Walker's coaches, says the same thing. He carries a copy with him, and he reads it. I think he said it. He reads it, probably multiple times per year, almost ongoing. Because again, it's one of those books you can read a chapter in a minute and a half sometimes, 5 minutes at the most. And so it's like a little daily devotional type thing for creatives. And then the last book that I think everyone should read is a new one. Those two books, I think War of Art was written in the 90s or early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. And How to Win Friends and Influence People is 100 years old. But Superfans, they came out this year by Pat Flynn. This is my favorite book of 2019. I think I'm looking at one other book. I don't know when one of them came out. Now that I think it might have come out this year too, but it's not my favorite book. So this one is my favorite book of 2019, and I think it's the only one on this list, or one of two on this list that are from 2019, and it is absolutely amazing. It's all about creating a tribe of super fans, which is what you want, you know. And it's kind of like the book Raving Fans by Ken Blanchard from back in the 80s, which I love. For those of you who follow me long enough, you know I love that book. This is more for the digital age. This is really specific for the digital age. And I got some specific tips. You know, Raving Fans is more kind of like high level, overarching, you know, strategy and stuff like that. Things that you need to, you know, how you need to think and how you need to plan. This is specific strategies for the digital age for 2019 and beyond. And I stole probably a good dozen ideas that we've put into use in our business that have completely transformed our business and allowed us to connect with my audience on a much deeper level. It's helped us improve our show up rate. It's helped us lower our refund rate. All kinds of like powerful things that we've done with this book. So Superfans by Pat Flynn is amazing. Now, my recommended reading for beginners. So if you're just starting out, less than a year or so in the online world, I've got 3 books for you as well. The first one is by my friend Dory Clark, Entrepreneurial You. Now, fun fact about Dory and I, we did not know we never knew each other until a few years ago. We found out we were born in the same hospital in a small town in North Carolina, which is just weird. You know, like she emailed me the other day. She's there right now. She's like probably 5-10 minutes from my mom right now, you know, like crazy small world. And we went in, I have a copy that she mailed me. This book's a few years old. I went into with my mom, visiting her last, when was it? Last October, I think. And we went into this small bookstore in Southern Pines, North Carolina. And we were both born in a town called Pinehurst. And we were in Southern Pines, which is right next to Pinehurst. And they had where she had been there for a book signing. I took a picture and texted her. I was like, check it out. You know, she's like, oh, yeah. And I was telling my mom about the book. They had a couple copies. And the next thing you know, my mom walks over and she's like, she has a copy of the book. And I'm like, Mom, why did you buy that? And she's like, well, because you're in it, which I am. And I'll tell you more about that in a second. That's not why I recommend it, because this book is just amazing for learning just about how to become an entrepreneur and a lot of the mindset that comes with that and all that fun stuff. And I was like, Mom, I have like 4 copies of this Dory gave me. I could have just given you one. She's like, no, that's cool. Yeah, I wanted to support her. So I just love that, you know. I mean, I love that my mom's buying a book that I'm in, and just, you know, it's kind of cool. Anyway, so Entrepreneurial You by Dory Clark. Again, all of these books are at mattmcwilliams.com/holiday books. You don't have to worry about going to search for them or anything. Just remember that URL or click it in the show notes and you can go there. The next one is Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. And this one is like a beginner's entrepreneur's playbook. It covers the basics. Doesn't do a deep dive into anything. That's not what you want when you're first starting out. You want kind of a high level overview of how to start an online business. And I know for us, there's a lot of stuff in there that we do and we didn't really know maybe the reason why we did it, or we didn't know the why behind. We didn't know why it worked, and then we read it and went, wait a minute, that's why that works. Oh, that's why that works. And now we teach that. And so Expert Secrets is absolutely amazing. And the last one, which I have no experience with, I will tell you whatsoever, but enough people, when I was asking my friends, what books do you recommend for, entrepreneurs? Which books do you recommend for beginner entrepreneurs? What books should I read this holiday season? This was one that everyone recommended for beginners. I would say probably 80% of them recommended for beginners. This is Marketing by Seth Godin. Now, Seth's one of my favorite writers, and I love some of his stuff, but I've been told this book is more of honestly, Matt, you wouldn't get much out of it. And so I probably will listen to the audiobook just to get a cursory overview, but I'm probably not going to read it or really dive in depth because I've been told it's, pretty beginner stuff. And it's an overview of marketing and what marketing really is. And if you struggle with being a marketer, then this is a good book for you. So there's some recommended reading for everyone. some recommended reading for beginners. And again, you can get all of these books at mattmcwilliams.com/holiday books, and the link will also be in the show note. But what am I reading this holiday season? Well, there's actually 2 books that I've already started reading for this holiday season, one of which I'm about halfway through, and then the other which I'm nowhere close. I'll tell you more about that. And then another one that I'm reading that are business related, and then I'll share just a couple that I'm reading just for fun. The first one that I am reading this holiday season, and I just started it, is called The Rocket Fuel by Gino Wickman. I just got it a few days ago. And let me grab my phone. Actually, I'm going to press pause because I want to share something from it with you. And I'm back. So this is a brand new book. No joke. I am on page 6. Page 6. And I am already getting massive value out of this book. So this is something, again, these are more advanced topics, but this is something that we've been struggling with for a while, is just kind of figuring out how to get our company structured. And I'm going to read you a little excerpt from the front of the book. It's a quote by Bo Burlingham endorsing the book. He says, "It takes not one but 2 entrepreneurs to build a great company. Gino and Mark show how that relationship can provide the rocket fuel your company needs to achieve its full potential." And so I had recently asked a friend of mine, lifelong friend named Hunter. We had a company together many years ago. We grew that company. I've told this story many times. We grew that company to, we had a $12.5 million affiliate program, and that was only a fraction of what we did. Very successful company. We were the 3rd largest in our industry and the largest privately held company. And we'd grown like wildfire, had 52 employees, and we're adding more. And I asked him, what did that for us? Was it this, or something that I just, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. What was it? And it wasn't the 2 things that I thought it might be. And he said, actually, it was us. It was you and me. It wasn't our other business partner. He was actually a liability, he said. But he said, it was you and I. And he went on to explain, this is back when I was in my mid-20s. He went on to explain that, he said, I honestly feel like every business needs 2 people, a visionary and an executor. A visionary and an executor. And he said, I was the visionary, meaning him. He said, I kind of I had a vision for how things should work long term. And the creativity side, he was like, you were creative, but he's like, I think you played the role of the executor because you had to. And he said, the reality is you just got stuff done. He's like, it didn't matter if you hurt somebody's feelings or if you had, if your whole team had to work all weekend, you got stuff done. You executed the vision. And that's why we were successful. And I was thinking about that. And then I picked up this book, Rocket Fuel, after numerous people recommended it. And I opened it up, and the very first page, like before the intro, it shows 2 definitions. The first, visionary. One who has clear ideas about what should happen or to be done in the future. One who has a powerful imagination. One who sees visions. One who has unusual foresight. Dreamer, seer, creator. And the second one is called integrator. One who integrates. One who harmoniously unites the major functions of a business. One who keeps the trains running on time. One who creates focus, accountability, and alignment. Right hand, number 2, steady force. And I sent that to Hunter, and I sent that to one of the guys on my team that I believe is actually an integrator, because I've now playing the role of visionary in our company. And I was just like, holy crap. And then open up the book. We're still in the introduction phase. And he said, what is the discovery Gino made? This is his co-author. There are 2 distinct types of leaders in all small businesses, the visionary and the integrator. One sees the future and the other makes it happen. These 2 roles could not be more different from each other. That is why it is magic when they work well together. And then he goes on to talk about examples. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Henry Ford and whatever his partner's name was. I can never remember. Bill Gates and Paul Allen, I think. Walt and Roy Disney. You get the visionary and then the integrator. And I wrote when I was sending these to Robbie, I just said, wow, that's from the first page, the front of the book, and page 3 of the introduction. That's how good this is already. And then I found this today on page 7. I'm on page 6, but I looked over. I mentioned my friend's name is Hunter. that I've been sending this stuff to, the one that I was business partners with back in the day. And, we've been chatting, and it says this: a hunter mentality. In John F. Deeney's book, which is something about hunting in a farmer's world or something about being an entrepreneur, it says, in John F. Deeney's book, he calls you, meaning visionaries, hunters, meaning you are wired differently than most. You are always in hunting mode. Your type of hunting is for ideas, deals, opportunities, and solutions to big problems. They call you hunters. And I was like, oh my goodness, like this is blowing me away. Like this is getting freaky right now, But I love that though. And so I'm just going to tell you, like, I'm on page 6 and I am absolutely falling in love with this book, Rocket Fuel. One of the guys that Gino cites in the book Rocket Fuel many times is a guy named Michael Gerber, not Robert Gerber. The next book is by Robert Cialdini though. But he cites Michael Gerber in his book, The E-Myth. And I am reading over this holiday season, I'm about halfway through it, I'm reading The E-Myth Revisited for the third, possibly the fourth time. I'm not sure. I read it back in 2005, 2006, with that business that I was with Hunter. I read it in 2012, right after we started this business. And I believe that I read it in 2010, but I just don't remember for sure. And so I'm reading it, either the third or the fourth time. And I am absolutely loving what this book is showing me. I actually feel like this could be in the beginner or the advanced, because I think if you read this when you're starting, it can give you a vision of what your business should look like. But it's definitely, some of the stuff in there is more advanced. Some of the struggles that it talks about, you haven't faced yet, and they might be hard to relate to, but it might help you avoid those struggles. And so the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber is absolutely amazing. And it is helping us structure our company in the right way. And then the last book, pure marketing book that I'm reading for the second time, I will be reading for the second time here in about a week or so, is Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. This is all about what you need to do before you attempt to persuade somebody. And let's be honest, all of marketing is persuasion. That's all marketing is persuasion. And so if you want to persuade better, you need to persuade better. And I'm just going to flat out say this is a book I believe every marketer, anybody who wants to persuade anybody, has to read. And then lastly, again, you can find all of those books at mattmcwilliams.com/holiday books. I'm excited to dig into these books. Again, it's a time where we're going to be off. It's a time to kind of sit back and digest this information. Read them slow. I've been reading Rocket Fuel for 4 days. I'm on page 6. That's how, first of all, that's how good it is. Second of all, I'm taking the time to digest what I'm learning. And actually, I'll give you this. This is kind of a new way of reading for me. And I'm not saying you always will read this slow. I'm forming hypotheses. With each page, with each chapter. And I'm trying to say, okay, this is what I think we're going to end up with in this. Now, prove this hypothesis right or wrong. And then it shifts based on the facts, based on what I read next. We learned that in like 7th grade, right? The scientific method. You form a hypothesis, you test it, you prove it right or wrong. And so it'll be interesting to see how that works with these books. I'm doing that with both the E-Myth and Rocket Fuel. So yeah, just really excited about all these books. Now for fun, I've got 2 books I'm reading over the holidays. I just started one, and then the other I'll probably read right after the new year. The first one, this is my nighttime reading, or whenever I want to read just to amuse myself. I'm reading the book by Ashley Vance on Elon Musk that came out a couple years ago. And it's so funny. I just started reading it about 4 days ago. It's blowing me away. Guys, crazy story. Very much a guy who's on a mission, and very much a guy who's not afraid to leave some people in the, we'll just say, he's not afraid to burn some bridges, but he's an interesting guy. And I'm reading early on. Started reading it 4 days ago. 2 days ago, found out I'll share more about this, but we're involved in a project, a big project. It'll probably be one of the 2 or 3 biggest launches of 2020 online. And one of the one of the things is that we'll be involved with is actually spending a day with Elon Musk and some other high level entrepreneurs. And I was like, that's pretty sweet, and I just started reading about him. So kind of great timing there. And then the second book is called The Road to Camelot: Inside JFK's 5-Year Campaign. If you don't know, I love reading biographies. I love reading history, and I love reading things that are historical that, also are about either great leaders or, in a way, great marketers. I read a book about the 2016 election and the mistakes and the things that both sides did well, and that it was one of the best marketing books I've ever read. I've said it many times, like him or not, as a president, you got to give him credit. Donald Trump was an amazing marketer. He had no business getting elected. Let's be honest, with his experience and his past and all that, had no business getting elected, but he did. And he and his team are great marketers, and we can learn a lot from them. This book will be interesting because it's about, how JFK got elected. And I believe if you look at the Kennedy machine, back in the 50s and 60s, they were amazing marketers. If you study that 1960 election, the reality is JFK and his team were better marketers than Nixon's. That's why he got elected president. It had nothing to do with, I'm not saying he was better or worse than Nixon. Clearly, Nixon wasn't that great. Let's be honest. Watergate, anyone? But that's not the point. The point is he got elected. He got elected because he was a better marketer. And so it'd be interesting to read that book. I'm really reading it mostly just for entertainment and fun, but I'm sure I'll pick up some marketing nuggets that I'll end up sharing here in the podcast. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. Wish you an amazingly Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays, Happy Festivus, whatever you celebrate over the next few weeks. I hope they are amazing. I hope you get to get some downtime. I've never done it personally, but, go roast some chestnuts on an open fire. Enjoy snuggling with the kids or whatever it is that you do over the next couple of weeks. This is a very special time of year, and it should be. And hopefully you get some time to look into some of these books. So again, check them out, mattmcwilliams.com/holiday books. And with that, I will see you in the new year. We're coming back in 2020. That's just crazy. That is just crazy. I'll see you then. Thank you so much for listening today. Remember to check out all of our deep dives into affiliate marketing at theaffiliateguy.tv. And if you have a question, you can ask it at asktheaffiliateguy.com. Who knows? Might end up being featured on this podcast.